Gold Squad TV. Doing an early morning food for thought, man, because spiritually I'm kind of going through it right now. But I just kind of want to give some advice to everybody that's going through anything that I've gone through or gone through any worse than what I've gone through or you've gone through, whatever. This food for thought is specifically for grieving. Whether you lost a family member, lost a relationship, lost a friend, lost an animal. This one's for y'all. You see, in life, things will come unexpectedly in life. And then there will be reminders and triggers that go on in life that may constantly remind you of the dark times that you've gone through. Anybody sitting here saying that they don't live life with regrets, they lying. This is not an attack though, because this is not my base to really get at that. This is really more for y'all because life is not easy, and in learning how to forgive and learning how to deal with the day-to-day struggle, sometimes it's easier said than done to ask somebody to forgive. But it's also easier said than done for somebody to understand. Sometimes we all just don't understand our struggles or can't relate to certain things. And, I went through a 4-month period before, actually 3.5-month period before I started Gold Squad TV, where I went to, admittedly so, probably the darkest stretch of my life. And I'm still kind of going through it to try to get past it. I'm still dealing with the grieving. A lot of us have grieved in 2020, in 2020. However, we all grieve differently and all have different reasons for grieving. Let me just tell you this. Anytime you go through some really dark moments and it has triggers, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to let it all out. If you apologize to somebody that over a misunderstanding and they don't reach out back to you, then you still show them love through prayer, because at some point sooner or later they'll understand. And any hurt and pain that you went through in life, do grieving, you're probably more likely to lose people around you than you are to keep people around you, because some people just don't relate. They don't see the struggle you're going through. Sometimes when you're grieving as well, I just want people to understand something. You don't even know your own moods. So you might be mad and taking your frustrations. There was a point in time where I was wilding, punching holes in walls, going crazy, mad over basketball games, doubting myself, having phone conversations with people, not knowing who the hell I was, because I was grieving a couple losses in my life, to where I'm not going to speak of, but grieving, which led to me losing other situations in the process because I was not in the right space of mind. I want you guys to understand something, man. No one's perfect. We all go through struggle. We all cry. Nobody walks around here Teflon proof. Anybody walking around here talking about they don't got emotions, they lying to you. They're crying in bed. Let me assure you that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Whether you lost a family member, an animal, a friend, a relationship, a friendship, maybe you watched somebody die in front of you. Maybe you went through a really hardship and you just want to apologize after saying some things you really kind of didn't mean to say, and that person just does not want to hear you out. We all have to rely on God. We all have to rely on, the higher power to get us through, regardless of what higher power you may feel. We all have to and find ways to get past these things. But it sometimes, man, trauma just doesn't leave. You have traumatic situations. You also remind you, whether you have an animal or a friend or whatever, those people, those things are sometimes are the backbones of your life. And when you lose those things during grieving, during grieving times, when people are out here trying to help or trying to be of a help towards you, um, unfortunately, sometimes you harm the person trying to help you. You know, I guess the bigger point of what I'm saying is that if you're grieving today, you're grieving because somebody lost their life because of COVID-19, or you're grieving because you lost a boyfriend or lost a girlfriend over a misunderstanding, or if you're grieving over losing an animal, if you're grieving over losing your job, don't worry, man. There's a light out there. It may not. It's easier said than done. It's easier said for me to say that, but there's a light out there. There's somebody that cares. There's obviously God cares, but there's also somebody out there that does, even might not fully relate to your struggle, but sees the pain, and you're gonna tell you gonna be alright, Papa. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna get through. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright, lady. You're gonna be good. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get through. Just don't internalize it, please. Let it out. Let it out. You got somebody who's close and dear near to you. Go to them. If they're willing to listen to you, cry on their shoulder, man. Let it out. And then let me be clear too. If you have friends around you that don't really want to hear you out during grieving times, then those people aren't your friends. That said, this is not about that. You have a family member, friends, whatever. Anybody who's willing to listen to you when you're going through grieving times, go to them. Um, I would say go to psychologists or go do a shrink, but I personally do not favor those things because I feel like, especially in my life experiences, they don't do anything but just tell you a whole bunch of things to become this cold-blooded person that you almost become more begrudgeful leaving a psychiatrist or shrink when you go to these things, because they kind of tell you to just be like, oh, just be about yourself. And listen, we all got to love ourselves, no doubt. And I'd be first one to tell you I love myself every single day, more than I ever did past. Probably why I'm doing what I'm doing now with Gold Squad TV, because I understand there's goals to be had and goals to be made and things, and it doesn't change the fact of the pains I've gone through. And when you go to a shrink, they're only fixing general problems. They're not fixing the deeper problems. Those problems you need to fix. Those are problems that you're paying them to fix, and they're not fixing them because they can't relate. A lot of times, more often than not, you go to a psychiatrist, after you're done seeing them, they going out to have a couple of drinks because they sad and they going through whatever they go through. Um, Seen it happen too many times. Um, just know before anything, man, don't ever be afraid to let it all out. Life is too short and precious. Anything that triggers you, cry. Let it out. Don't worry about it. Take some time for yourself. Crying does not mean you hate yourself. It means you love yourself. And you need to let that out. And if people can't find it within themselves to love you during those dark moments, then that's on them. But just know at the end of the day that if you're going through those things that I've gone through within the last 4 months, going through family, I'll be the first one. I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I've gone through family issues. I've gone through friends leaving my life. I've gone through an animal that was close and dear to me dying out of nowhere without me saying goodbye. Um, I've gone through a lot of things in my life. Um, I'd be lying to you to say that I said that I'm fully over those things. I don't think we ever really truly ever get over them. I think we just try to get past them, and that's just the way it is. If we have to move forward, life has to go on. The show must go on. That said, I'm not perfect. I go through triggers. I go through things on a day-to-day basis. And I want y'all to know this isn't Gold Squad General talking. This is Louis talking. This is the person behind the character speaking and understanding that, you know, if you do need to get real help, do it. You know, even if I don't believe in shrinks and don't believe in those type of, psychiatrists and stuff, if you have really serious problems to where you're near suicide, go get some help. Suicide awareness is very important. Go get some help. Go get some legit help. Don't hesitate. But we all need to rehabilitate the right way. I don't try to play Mr. Tough anymore. I used to be the dude that used to always try to be like, now I don't want to cry in front of people, and I stopped being that way because that's toxic masculinity at its finest. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to hurt yourself behind the scenes by holding something in because you're too scared to be looked at as a sissy to people? That makes no sense. Especially in 2020, 2021, where people are grieving every single day, losing friends, loved ones to a disease that right now they don't even have a vaccine for. We're not even talking about regular stuff like cancer. Cancer is not even regular. We're talking about the regular diseases like cancer, AIDS, you know what I mean? Heart attacks, heart disease, things, even natural causes are taking people out. Not to mention taking animals out. Remember, man, you see a red cardinal out there, that's God sending you a message that's going to be all right. But don't be afraid to do meditation. Don't be afraid to light some sage up. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do the things that people will say you're weird for doing. Your spiritual is very important. If you don't have your spiritual on point, I've said this times in other videos, your spiritual and your insight ain't on point. How are you going to be able to be successful outside? I'll even give you another quote. 60-second assassin from Sons of Man said this. Like, what powers that man if he gained everything but yet lost his soul? What powers that man? You could gain everything but yet lose your soul. What powers that man? Remember that. Don't ever lose who you are in order to gain everything that you want. As a matter of fact, stop wanting things and earn it. You know what I mean? Whatever comes to you will be because you earned it. You know what I mean? And just know and be grateful. But grieve. If you're going to grieve, don't be afraid to grieve. But understand and please know, if you grieve, be very mindful of the people that are around you. Be mindful of how careful you need to be in grieving. Don't harm anyone. Don't get frustrated. Don't punch walls. Don't do any of this stuff. Like, just give it all out. Go to sleep crying sometimes. Do it. You gotta let it. You cannot live with it being impacted in your soul. It's just not natural. Not right. That said, Gold Squad TV, I want to be a help to everybody. I don't just talk sports and talk music. I do motivational videos like this because I want people to understand that I go through pain every single day, man. I still go through traumas. Just because you see me being successful or trying to be doesn't mean I don't go through these things. I'm a human being. And I think it's very important to be transparent. Just know that I'm giving an honest product. This is not about me trying to sell you on a product. This is just me being me. So, with that said, I don't. It's not about me. It's about being a service to humans. You know, about being a service to humans that need it. You know, it's not just entertainment. It's a service of comfort, and I will hold that till I no longer am able to talk and breathe. Um, in the meantime, may God bless everyone. Bless whatever God you believe in. May you be blessed. Salute. Gold Squad TV. I'm out.